1, 2, 3's coming for you. 5, 6, no crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again.
A father accused of moving into his daughter's campus home and manipulating and abusing her friends. He's now facing charges. Amy's here with those disturbing details for us.
This is really disturbing is the word to describe this story. Lawrence Ray is accused of running a cult out of his daughter's dorm room. Prosecutors say he exploited and harmed his victims.
This morning, a 60-year-old father is behind bars, indicted by federal authorities for alleged sex trafficking and abuse of college students, including some of his daughter's roommates. According to the indictment, Lawrence Ray moved into his daughter's on-campus housing at the prestigious Sarah Lawrence College in 2010. Prosecutors say he befriended her roommates, some still teenagers, and began therapy sessions with them, learning intimate details of their lives. They say grooming them before moving with some of them to a New York City apartment, all while allegedly subjecting them to physical, psychological, and sexual abuse. He's facing 9 criminal counts, including sex trafficking, extortion, and forced labor.
There's no knowing the amount of damage he may have caused them in the years to come.
Prosecutors allege Ray extorted about $1 million in total from his victims, threatening them, depriving them of food and sleep, taking explicit photos of them, and in one case, even prostituting one young female for cash.
Some victims drained hundreds of thousands of dollars from their parents' savings accounts at Ray's direction. Others opened lines of credit or solicited contributions from acquaintances.
The allegations against Ray first outlined in an April 2019 article in New York Magazine. In it, desperate parents said that they reached out to the university and authorities for help.
They were told that these children were actually over 18 and were living with Larry, of their own volition. Other parents approached administrators at the college, but were told that, Larry was the parent of someone living at the school, so they couldn't really tell him to leave.
ABC News spoke to one of Ray's alleged victims last year.
I'd have to look in my
Dan,
history.
so you're trying to pull back now, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I don't. I did the comment stuff back around the time of the Mitt Romney blog, way back, months ago.
You're trying to parse again. Why to meet them?
I'm being honest, though.
To meet them. Stick it out. Stick the fucking Stick next one's going to be the head of your cock. Do you understand? See this how it feels? What if I pick you up like that? Can I pick you up by your tongue? Huh? Do you think I'm playing with you? Huh? Huh? You're a grown man. I'm a grown man. I don't like what you did. You hear me? Now one more time and I'm going to split your tongue in half. Do you understand me?
No. Yeah. Yes.
You doubting me, Danny?
No.
Huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Doubting me? Still?
No, I know that.
Huh?
I know that you'll hit me. Oh.
Want to doubt me more?
No.
Huh?
No.
I'll bust your face right here. I won't wait till I get downstairs.
No.
Take it to the bank. You and I are fighting it out tonight.
Okay.
Man to man. You can even have the hammer. I told you, beat me with it. You don't start telling the truth. I spent good money to find out these facts, you little piece of shit. And I'm telling you, listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Don't fuck around with lying now. Tell the truth. Next thing's gonna be out is your dick and balls. Did you like that the other night when your balls were getting strangulated?
No.
Huh? What should I do to them tonight? Apologize for lying to everybody right now.
Sorry.
And this just now that you were lying.
I'm sorry for
Remember, they don't know the facts. I know them, dickhead.
He put me in a lot of situations that involved being sexual in ways that I wouldn't have chosen.
He said it took him time to realize Ray had been acting like a cult leader.
They very deliberately try to separate you from your family and your friends and your loved ones because that's your support network.
Sit down.
I want to go to the bed.
Sit.
I want to go to the bed.
All right, please, come on. No, come here. Listen. You gotta sit down on the floor.
I want to sit.
Alicia, stay down.
Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me, Lord. Please, God. Lord, please don't leave me. Lord.
Okay, but
Lord, please don't leave me. Lord, please don't leave me.
I'm not leaving.
Lord, please don't leave me.
Relax. I'm not leaving.
Lord, please don't leave me.
I'm not leaving.
Please get off of me.
I'm not leaving.
Get off, please.
Listen, I don't want to hurt you.
Help me get
But I
off.
need to restrain you.
Please.
You're going to hurt yourself or hurt me or hurt someone else. Okay, but I need you to calm down.
I'm closing.
Spit him out. Spit him?
It's too late. I took Adderall.
How many?
Just a half pill.
Why did you take my medication? Come on.
Because I wanted to take.
That's enough.
Okay. Do not go in the room.
I want to go
Do not leave
change.
this room now. You went to the bathroom and washed your face.
I want to go change my clothes. Like, I don't want to be in here. So excuse me.
Do not leave it. Do not leave the room, Felicia. You're in danger to yourself and others,
I'm
clearly.
not. Excuse
Do
me.
not leave the room.
Excuse me.
Do not leave the room.
I gotta get.
Do not try to initiate physical contact.
I'm not trying to initiate.
Yes, you are.
I'll go around you then.
Stop it.
I just want to get out. Please, leave me alone for a little bit.
No.
Please.
Stop.
What? What's the
You're
problem?
unstable and you're violent. Stop.
I'm not unstable. I'm not violent.
You just assaulted me.
I wasn't on purpose.
But you assaulted me.
I didn't. It wasn't on purpose.
Sit down. I'm telling you what makes me feel comfortable, the person you assaulted.
I'm sorry.
And you're intentionally
I didn't-
disregarding it. You're intentionally not doing it.
I wasn't trying.
You are
to...
behaving like a criminal right now.
Just look. I just want to be alone right now. I'm sorry that I hurt you. I just want to be alone. Then, just let me be.
More than 25 years national, you know.
Let's take a look at those Trump results, the Republican results in the city.
Leave me alone.
Get out in the hall, fella. If you can't take it, you want to behave so atrociously. You want to behave so criminally destructive, because that's what you admitted to doing all day today and yesterday. And then you've been trying to harm me entirely. Well, now you want to do that, and you want to act so intrusive, so disruptive for your criminal objective, then you just go with being videotaped, your behavior.
No, I don't want that.
Well, that's too bad. You can't control everybody. You're not in charge of the world.
Ray appeared in court on Tuesday. He did not enter a plea. Last year, he told ABC News these allegations were absolutely untrue and intentionally false. Sarah Lawrence said that following the New York Magazine article, it launched an internal investigation and could not substantiate the claims, but say the safety and well-being of our students and alumni is a priority. There are so many questions.
You destroy my life, or my sister's life, or my brother's life.
Is he getting her on the phone?
Yes.
He's walking.
Let's go inside the house, please. Please. Please, Larry.
You're not going in.
Yes.
I told you all day you're not getting in. Stop doing this to me. Stop pinching me. You're hurting me, damn it. Stop hurting me.
Let's go inside the house, Larry.
Stop it.
Let's go inside the house.
I've never seen you face like that. You're dangerous.
I'm not dangerous.
Please get a handle on yourself.
Yes, I can get a handle.
Gather yourself.
I'm having no final problem. I got it together now, Larry.
You realize that you've assaulted and hurt Yalitza, your sister, and Isabella?
Yes.
Why did you hurt them?
Because I was angry. Okay, fine. You know what? I know I fucked up all day, but that doesn't mean I need to go anywhere.
Why do you hurt yourself? Why do you hit yourself?
Because I'm angry.
Why do you pinch yourself?
Because I'm angry.
Why do you want to bruise yourself?
Because I'm angry.
And what does that do for you?
It makes me feel better.
It makes sense? That makes sense?
Yes, to me it makes sense.
Dr. Rosario. that
Dr.
makes sense.
Rosario, Harvard graduate of Harvard in Columbia. Yes, it makes sense to me.
What happened to you? Who are you?
I don't know what happened to me.
Who are you?
I'm still me. I'm still me. I'm still the one that you met a long time ago. The woman you.
Who destroyed everything I had.
And now could face life in prison. CBS 2's Dick Brennan here with more. Dick?
Christina Maurice, there are so many questions surrounding this case. How did Lawrence Ray manage to fool everyone? He somehow moved onto the campus of a prestigious university, controlling the lives of well-educated students, taking their money and their dignity. One group that didn't buy his story, a jury. 15 times Lawrence Ray heard the word guilty on federal charges, including extortion, sex trafficking, and racketeering. Jurors finding he abused and brainwashed young people under his spell.
He used violence, threats, and psychological abuse to try to control and destroy their lives. He exploited them He terrorized them. He tortured them.
Prosecutors say it began back in 2010 when Ray moved into his daughter's dorm at Sarah Lawrence College in Bronxville. That led to the cult-like controlling of the lives of her friends, forcing one into prostitution, threatening another with a hammer.
Let me be very clear. Larry Ray is a predator, an evil man who did evil things. Today's verdict finally brings him to justice.
The 62-year-old Ray also extorted hundreds of thousands of dollars from the students. Ray's lawyers argued his followers were well-educated from privileged backgrounds and that they followed him voluntarily and could come and go as they pleased. The jury didn't buy it.
Does this verdict surprise you?
Oh, not at all. This defendant was the master manipulator.
Legal expert David Schwartz says with 4 of his former followers testifying against Ray, this was not a tough case for the jury, which only deliberated about 4 hours.
Cases where you have so many victims and so many victims able to come forward and testify about the horror that they went through, that is why there was a verdict so quickly in this case.
Ray is scheduled for sentencing in September. He faces the possibility of life in prison on his sex trafficking conviction and decades behind bars on the other counts. An accused co-conspirator will be tried separately.
Just a few of his original 17 charges include racketeering, extortion, sex trafficking, forced labor, and money laundering. 2 counts were dropped by the end of the trial for technical reasons. He faces life in prison for his alleged crimes. Law and Crime's very own Adam Klasfeld has spent the duration of this federal trial inside the courtroom. He joins us now with all of the details. Adam, how are you doing? What's the scene like down there?
Well, it is the coda of a long and harrowing trial. In the back of the courtroom, 3 of Ray's victims were spotted, the Rosario siblings, Felicia Rosario, Santos Rosario, and Yalitza Rosario, who were spotted holding hands in the back of the courtroom as everyone was awaiting the verdict. And the verdict came out. 15 counts charged against him that the jury was there to consider, 15 counts of conviction. And you started rattling some of them off, Allison. Racketeering, sex trafficking, extortion, forced labor, money laundering, and other financial crimes. It was a resounding verdict, and it showed that the jury only needed a few hours to consider the overwhelming evidence against Ray, much of it of his own making. As I have said before on the program, prosecutors discovered thousands of files that Ray personally stored of the confessions that he forced out of his young victims. They would confess to out there infractions such as poisoning him or damaging his property or colluding with his enemies, all to extract payments ranging from the hundreds of thousands of dollars, even to the millions of dollars, to his sex trafficking victim, Claudia Drury, who testified that she worked 7 days a week, seeing up to 5 men a day, working on her birthdays, holidays, in order to keep the money flowing to Ray, who then had that money funneled through his followers into a GoDaddy account for internet domains. He never sold the domains. A jury quickly found that was money laundering. And so the prosecutors had a validation that they got it exactly right in this mammoth indictment, where they described Ray as a crime boss in summations. The racketeering charge, of course, typically used to clamp down on organized crime. And that's what prosecutors say he acted in his daughter's dorm in Sarah Lawrence College.
These college students just went through so much. This was back in 2010. This was a long time coming for these victims to seek justice here. Adam, you were in the courtroom nearly every day, if not every day. What was the standout moment that you really picked up on in this case?
Well, the types of torture that was inflicted on these kids just kept getting worse. It was symbolized by the prosecution. They began their opening statements and their closing arguments with the same image. A night on October 15th, 2018, which they described as the long night of torture, where Ray allegedly and now has been found by a jury to have tried to suffocate his victim with a plastic bag, choked her with a leash, doused her with water next to an air conditioner for several hours because she testified, told one of her clients that Ray was trying to blackmail them on a website in her name. So after that, that was a just harrowing testimony. He told her, according to her testimony, that he was going to waterboard her. He told her that, according to her testimony, that he was going to kill her. And the jury believed her account, and now he stands convicted of sex trafficking. But really, some of the standout moments are just all of those horrendous videos. There was one video, and I'm sure Law and Crime viewers have seen all of these by now, of one of the victims, Dan Levin, who actually wrote a memoir about what Larry Ray called the Larry Ray family, where Larry Ray used a set of pliers to pull on his tongue and held a hammer under him and threatened him to do worse if he got out of line. There were several videos like that, too many to describe, too many to count. It's truly a very harrowing case.